to be able to trade with the big boys. Let's talk about this leverage. When you signed up with your broker, you were asked to select a certain leverage amount. You might have been told to select a 1 to 100 or 1 to 200. It goes all the way up to a 1 to 4,000. So you selected something, most likely not knowing why you selected those. What exactly is leverage? Before I even go all the way into that, it's a strategy that allows you to use borrowed money or borrowed capital to increase your potential returns. So you use leverage in the market. You use leverage when you're buying a house. You use leverage in real estate. You use leverage when you invest, period. It just makes more sense. You saw in the description, in the illustrations earlier, you could bring $100,000 and still only make $78. That's not exciting. That's not fun. You know, who wants that kind of return on investment? That's what you get from your banks, pretty much. In leverage, in order to be able to take part in leveraging, you would have to have a deposit. So you would have to come with some money, but your money is going to be more like a down payment than anything. Instead of having to come to the table with $100,000, now you can come to table with a certain amount of money in order to be able to use that money to leverage more money. Now back to what I was talking about as far as, you know, when you selected that leverage when you first got into your broker. So for instance, let's say you selected a 1 to 200 leverage. That actually means that for every $1 in your account, your broker is going to let you leverage $200. So let's say you deposit $1,000. Now you have the ability to use up to $200,000. It's pretty awesome. So here's another example, another leverage example. So let's say you selected the 1 to 100 leverage. That means if you deposit $1,000, you now have access to up to $100,000. Remember, for every $1 you deposit, your broker will allow you to use 100. If you selected the 1 to 4,000 leverage, which is crazy, that would mean if you deposited $1,000, you would have access to up to $4 million. Sounds really tempting, doesn't it? Something I want to point out to you, though. Remember, when you selected your whatever leverage you selected, that leverage. So let's say you selected a 1 to 200 leverage. That would be considered your maximum leverage, meaning that is the most you can take out. That's like if you go to buy a house and you give them, $50,000, they loan you $300,000. It's not very wise to use all $300,000. It's not necessarily the best idea to do that. You want to give yourself some room to move around, to breathe. Especially if you're trying to renovate the house, you want to give yourself room to, for renovation expenses and whatnot. Your true leverage is what you actually use at any given time. So let's say you're approved to use up to $300,000, but you go and buy a house that's about $100,000. Now you still have a lot of room to move around. All right. It's not wise to use the max amount of leverage in any one trade. You can use all of the money, but as long as you diversify it, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to diversify. So never use 100% of your account in any one trade. Very bad idea. And here we go again with a review on our original situation. Remember when you made 7 pips out of the market? If you want to really come to the market with $100,000, go for it. Make that $78. Woohoo! Yay. Or not. See, with leverage, now your ROI % can increase without having to deposit that much money. In other words, if you come to the market with somebody else's money, you have the ability to grow your account significantly, much more than you would coming with your own money. Some people really like, ooh, I don't want any debt. But honestly, it works really good when it comes to investing. It takes money to make money. Yay for OPP. So what do I mean by ROI? Return on investment, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Let's say, remember, you deposit $100,000 of your own money, big baller, and make 7 pips. Your ROI % would be 0.07%. Wah, wah, wah. Not really exciting. Now, if you deposit $1,000 of your own money and make 7 pips using a 1 to 100 leverage, which allows